Hi everyone, welcome back to my sister's YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a cheeky little Q&A about being an international student in the UK. So guys, we're just going to go through a few things that we feel like would be important, especially if you are a student, that I feel like and my sister feels like would have been really useful to know about before moving here. Definitely. The first question we're going to be addressing is how it was moving into your first uni accommodation. There was a lot of shopping. Like, obviously you start with your two 23-kilogram suitcases from the airport straight to your accommodation, and then you have to start from scratch, buying every single thing that you're gonna need, starting from your pots, your pans, plates, spoons, forks, knives, beddings, toiletries. But what stores would you recommend to get your that kind of stuff here? So in terms of, if there's two sides, if you want to be budget friendly or if you want to spend a little bit more, it's really up to you. More budget friendly stores, I'll suggest Poundland, probably Home Bargains. Home Bargains is the best for like cheap stuff, Definitely. That's really Bargains, good. Poundland as well, but you need to be worried about Poundland because you're paying for what you get. Like, yeah, Poundland the price is not the greatest. The price is what you're paying for. So how long it will last depends on that. So probably a good strong suggestion would be to spend a little bit more, so that you kind of don't have to think about rebuying these things every so often, every few months, every year, or something like that. That's true. I think if also Primark Homes is not too bad as Primark, like, is specific to just like mugs or just bedding, so like it would be really good for bedding. Is really good. It's really good for another really cheap one that you'd be surprised, but it's not available in every single city in the UK, is IKEA. IKEA is actually really good. It's not too bad, but I don't have an IKEA near me. Do you have an IKEA? Yeah, I have an IKEA in Manchester here. So yeah, that's a really good one. Or if you're feeling a little bit spendy, your Wilko's, Tesco, you find really good things in there. Quality, to be fair, you just have to pay a little bit more, so you'll get what you're paying for. The next thing is in terms of food places. I like love groceries is more Aldi. I go to Aldi because Aldi is cost effective. I am an Aldi babe. Like, me and Aldi's. But you go to Lidl? I live near Lidl, but I prefer Aldi. Like, I feel like the quality of food, even though they're within the same price range, quality of food in Aldi is better than Lidl. That's just the truth. Really? I didn't know that. Definitely. But Aldi, Lidl, both of them are very cost effective. Another one that's actually kind of becoming a little bit more price friendly is Asda. They have the Asda Essentials, so all the yellow branded stuff that's Asda brand is a little bit more affordable than obviously the normal branded things that you would find. But there are the normal prices that you need to go to with nice club cards. You need to have all of these apps because they're a bit more expensive. Oh yeah, it's good to get like Tesco's good for like a club card, because I have a Tesco club card and every time you get points you can get money off. So Tesco's not too bad. And they have different prices. Obviously, you have people with club card spend a little bit less than people without one. So, and then you've got your Morrisons if you want to go to Morrisons, or your Sainsbury's that are a little bit more pricey, would you say? Yeah, definitely. And then if you're bougie, you've got your Waitrose, M&S. One thing about Africans is they will make sure there is an African store in every city. Yeah. I can tell you within Manchester, around me, there's about 5 within distance that I can get to on a bus or even walking. It might not always be cost effective, but if you are missing home and you want to get like food or any sort of product that you can only find in your native country, definitely go to these stores. The next part, guys, is what things would you bring back home? If you what would you bring from home? Like, from home, from home. If you're coming here, like, what things would you need to bring to? Depends on where you're from in Africa, to be fair. We're Zambian, so you have a very biased view. Make sure you bring your spices, because you're not gonna find Robertson's here. You're not gonna find, spice for rice, spice for chips. Those things don't exist here. So make sure you bring the spices that you know you like. Back home, bring them. Bring your cooking stick. Honestly, the one thing that I struggled to find was my cooking stick, guys. You cannot buy cooking stick here. I don't know where they sell them, but like I tried to find, especially the one if you cook in Shima, or what do they cook if you're from Nigeria, or if you're even from anywhere else that needs like a big, strong stick to cook. Bring one from home, because you will struggle to find one here. And snacks as well, guys.
Drinks,
honestly.
Drinks. Obviously, they probably won't last as long, but definitely
If you like,
try and bring them if you like them. At least it'll make you less homesick the first like few months you're here.
So the next thing is opening a bank account.
I would always suggest opening a high street bank account, especially as an international student. By high street bank account, we mean Lloyd's, Barclays, Santander, NatWest, Nationwide, them kind of banks, because I believe they have a lot more options that would help in terms of like sending money for school fees and so on. Like you can transfer more money into them than probably your online banks could hold. And also because of security, probably want a high street bank to have money like that if you're paying fees at once or whatever that you need to pay for.
And apparently with Santander you can get a 4-year rail card,
which is good if you travel from city to city. Rail card
Which
makes
is good.
everything cheaper.
You get
All
like
the train tickets cheaper.
you get one third of the account, and apparently you get a £2,000 overdraft. I know that's with Santander. I don't know about other banks. So that's also another good thing about your high street banks is the overdraft that you get with them, because you can go. So overdraft is basically how much you can go into negative. So if you're owing things, like you can go into negative £2,000.
And that it will still be allowed by your bank, but it's something you need to pay back at some point.
And the longer you take to pay it, the more interest they add on to it. So that's just something to be aware of. But you have that if you're in a desperate position and you need to take more money than is in your bank account as a student only.
So the next thing is collecting your BRP. So obviously when you apply for your visa, you set a post office that you're going to collect your BRP at. Please use your Google Maps and find the post office nearest to your uni, nearest to your accommodation, and as soon as you arrive in the United Kingdom, make sure you go collect it. Or you go with your passport, and obviously your passport should have the stamp, the entry stamp that you got in to the United Kingdom with, so that they can see that you had entry clearance and that your visa sticker has been like looked at obviously by immigration, just so that they can see and identify you, and then they can give you your BRP.
However, now that you're saying that, I don't know what the rules are gonna be going forward, because as of 2020, the end of this year, everyone's BRPs expire, so they're no longer doing BRP cards.
Yeah, everything's gonna be online. That's true. That's very true.
So we don't know what's gonna happen, but for now, if you're coming anytime soon before then, that's still the process that's gonna be in place until I don't know what their plan is. The end of this year. So another thing, guys, is police check. Not every single person from the country that comes in needs to do a police check, but people from specific countries need to do that police check. So just make sure that you check that your country is not on the list of countries that need to do that police check.
So when you're applying for your visa, you obviously pay that insurance health surcharge. That's the fee that you pay after you've paid the visa application fee. That basically allows you to access to free healthcare when you come to the UK. So the most important thing you also have to do when you get here is go to register with a GP. GP means general practice. That's your hospital. So find one that's near your uni, near where you live. Go to them, explain to them obviously that you're an international student. You would need the actual receipt of you paying the insurance health surcharge, just so that they know. And obviously put your details, if you need any medication, prescriptions, your bloods, things like that, whatever you have that's like past diseases, whatever you're going through, make sure that they know, because they'll be your first point of contact if anything is to happen.
your GP is aware. And how the health system works is, guys, seeing a doctor here is completely free. However, you don't just walk in and go to the hospital. The only time you go through a hospital is when you're going to A&E. Every single hospital thing goes through your GP. So you need to go to your GP first. Unless it's an emergency, obviously you go through directly to the hospital. But that is free of charge, guys. You don't gotta pay for that. The only thing that you have to pay for is your prescription, and there is a standard prescription charge for every item. So I think now we're at £9.60 something. I'm sure by the time I probably post this video, it's gonna be about £10. But it's a standard fee for every single item. So if your doctor gives you 3 items, that is £30. There's no, unless it's something you can buy over the counter, then you just pay an over the counter price. But for any prescription, it's a standard price for every single thing, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because if you're having some expensive medication that costs £100, you only pay £10 for it. But if you're having medication that costs £1, unfortunately you will pay £10 for it. That's just how this system works.
Another important thing to talk about is obviously getting around within the city that you live in. I live in Manchester, so we have buses, we have trams, and what else do we got trains as well. So most train stations are close enough that you can actually commute from, for example, Salford to Manchester, and there's about 3 different train stations in Manchester alone. So you can choose if you want to walk, you want to take the tram, or you want to take the bus, or you want to take the train. So many options. But obviously the cheapest thing that we've already talked about in terms of train railway travel is getting a rail card. But within obviously the transportation system in Manchester, you can get a monthly travel card that lets you get on the tram, the bus, and the tram and the bus for a certain amount of money that you pay every month, and for the card, and you don't have to then keep paying for tickets. So it makes you save a lot more money. And as students, you can get a termly bus pass as well. So if you only use the bus, you can get a termly bus pass. It's also really helpful. But if you're lucky and you live close enough, you can just walk as well.
And the good thing is, because you are a student, make sure that you inquire about the discounts, because there's always discounts for students. So make sure that you ask those questions and get your discounts.
One thing you're definitely going to experience when you come here is that this place is lonely. The weather does not help you. Nothing's gonna help you. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel like you're alone, especially if you don't know anyone yet, if you've not joined group chats and this, that, and the other. But in terms of being an African student, when you go to your freshers fair, you're always gonna find an ACS. All unis have an ACS. That means African Caribbean Society. It is a great excuse to meet up with other African students, other Caribbean students. You have so many things in common. If you want to find other international students from particularly different countries that you're from, your uni might actually have a society specifically for that country. You just have to have a look. But the generic one is the African Caribbean Society. You're going to go to freshers events. If you're interested in going clubbing, you can do that. There's always games nights, things to like always make sure all the freshers kind of know each other, so that you don't feel alone, and you can get to know people within your your flatmates. Just try and branch out and see like who you can speak to, I guess.
Next thing is part-time jobs, guys. You are entitled to work 20 hours during term time. Remember this is only during term time, guys. So remember that when you're off term time, you can get a letter from your university that tells the workplace what your term time dates are. If you want to go and if you want to stay here, I don't know, some people prefer to go home, but if you find yourself staying in the United Kingdom outside of term time, you can work full time. Just make sure that you get that letter, or if your job is very chilled about it, then you can go ahead and work full-time hours in that time. The best places to look for jobs, I like Indeed. Indeed is really, really good to find a part-time job.
You can also find part-time jobs on LinkedIn if you have a LinkedIn account. Total Jobs would probably give you part-time jobs as well. Reed as well. If you want agency work, you can find different agencies in your city, and obviously you give your details to them and they kind of call you as and when they need people to work. So it's kind of 0 hours. You choose when you work. It's not necessarily set hours, like your 20 hours a week when you go to any other kind of place of employment.
And CV Library as well has some jobs. Even though I've never really got a job from CV Library, but I know they have quite some jobs. But the agency one is really, really
Yeah.
good. They give you flexibility compared to like working. If you've got a very, very, very tough job, you
Yeah.
get to choose when you want to work and you can work around your schedule. Whereas if you get like a proper job, they expect you to be there on specific dates.
Just in general, towards like when you're now in uni, just make sure you actually have access to your timetable. Usually when you're a fresher means that you've just come in your first year. They would give you your timetable probably by email, so that you get a personalized timetable, and you'll be able to see when you're in your lectures, and you can also see like the rooms. It might not be easy on your first day when you're now trying to find this room named G500, and you're at L. Like, it can get a bit complicated, but don't be afraid to ask people, please, where am I going? Campus security always exists. There's student ambassadors, so many people there to help you.
That's true. And another thing that I would say is make sure that you build a rapport with your lecturers. Not all of them, maybe like one or two lecturers. I found that very useful when I was going from my undergrad to my postgrad, and when I was actually looking for a job, because you can use your lecturers as references, and if you have that good rapport, they will give you a good reference, but also they can help you with like reading through your CV when you're looking for a job, like when you're moving from like studying into working. I know my lecturer helped me with my CV. He did my he didn't do it, like he read through my personal statement, edited my personal statement, did my reference. So having that kind of relationship, honestly, they will move mountains for you, but you have to show them that you're someone that they can actually they have that rapport with, because it takes out of their time for them to do these things for you. So that's something that I would personally recommend. So basically, guys, I know that when you're about to move here, everyone's looking for the most important thing, which is accommodation. And sometimes you may find that your university may have slots available, because I know they save slots for international students, but sometimes they may not. So other websites that you can look at is things like Spare Room. If you're looking for a house share, you can find a really good house share on Spare
Even
Room.
apartments, you can be lucky as well and find people who are trying to who have contracts that they want to finish in their apartments, and you're able to renew obviously at the end of the person's contract, so you can find one bed apartments as well.
Open Rent.
Rightmove is also a good one. You can probably find some things on the market. These are more apartment based one. If you're looking for a student house, there's also student house specific websites where you can just find student houses. There are specific real estate agents that specifically give out student houses. In Manchester, there is Student House, like HAUS, Student House. If you search them, they always have either 1 bed apartments, 2 bed apartments, houses, like 3 bed, 4 bed, 5 bed, depending on how many. If you want a 10 bed house, you'll find 10 bed house. How many bathrooms you can find, however much, whatever you're looking for. Historia also really good. They do student housing as well.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, guys. We tried to put together things that we felt like were quite important and things that we needed, but then we hope we've covered as much as we can. If there's anything else you'd like us to cover, if you want us to make another video, please put it in the comments, guys. And if we get many suggestions, that we can do another video. But other than that, I'll see you guys in my next video.